Oh, so we're continuing today in Mishna Yomi. We find ourselves today in Perik Gimel, Mishnayos Dalid and Hey. So chapter 3, Mishnayos 4 and 5. Mishnah Dalid, Rosh Chodesh Adar Shechalios B'Shabbos. So just to give you the context over here, interestingly enough, in this particular Mishnah, we are now beginning to talk a little bit about the halachos of the supplemental readings, what we call the Dalid Parshios. So remember again, those are Parsha Shkalim, which refers to the Maktis HaShekel, the collection of the half shekel. Parsha Zohar, which is read right before Purim, which details our first encounter with Amalek. Parshas Para, the Para Aduma, which is read before Pesach, really before Rosh Chodesh Nisan, because the Para Aduma purifies one from ritual impurity, from coming in contact with a corpse. So at Pesach, everybody has to be in a state of ritual purity in order to be able to offer their Korban Pesach. And Parshas HaChodesh, which is the mitzvah of Rosh Chodesh, and in addition to the mitzvah of Rosh Chodesh, also Korban Pesach, Matzah, and the Isser of Chametz. So now the Mishnah is going to discuss when we read these parashos. Rosh Chodesh Adar Shechalios B'Shabbos. If Rosh Chodesh Adar falls out on Shabbos, Koren beParsha Shkalim. Ultimately, again, we read Parsha Shkalim on that very Shabbos. Chalios B'Soch HaShabbos. If Rosh Chodesh Adar falls out during the week, then Makdimin L'Sha'avar. Ultimately, again, we'll read Parsha Shkalim on the Shabbos before. Now, the reason for this is as follows. That halacha l'maisa, they would go ahead and begin to collect the Machzis HaShekel already as of Rosh Chodesh Adar. So again, the goal was that they had to replenish the temple coffers by the 1st of Nisan. So in an effort to go ahead and give people enough time to contribute their Machzis HaShekel, they would begin to announce it already by Rosh Chodesh Adar. So therefore, again, if Rosh Chodesh Adar falls out on Shabbos, we read Parsha Shkalim that same Shabbos. If, however, Rosh Chodesh falls out during the week, we'll read Parsha Shkalim the Shabbos before, Umafsikin l'Shabbos Acheres. And in that case, ultimately, again, we don't read any of the additional Dalid Parshios on the following Shabbos. So the Gemara says, the second Shabbos. What this means, the second Shabbos is the second of the Dalid Parshios that we read is Zachar. B'shlish is Para Aduma. And ultimately, again, the third Shabbos, meaning the third supplemental reading, is Para Aduma. The Revi'is, on the fourth week, HaChodesh Hazelochem. Ultimately, again, we read Parshas HaChodesh, which is the parsha again of the new month, Rosh Chodesh Nisan, which again talks about Korban Pesach, Matzah, and Chametz. Bechamisha is Chosen L'Kesidron. And on the fifth week, in other words, we go back to the regular order of Torah readings. Now, again, to be clear, you read the Mishnah, it sounds like these 4 supplemental readings are occurring on 4 consecutive weeks, but in fact, that is not the case. There's always time in between these readings. But again, we call it Shabbos Rishona, Shabbos Shniya, Shabbos Shlishis, Shabbos Revi'is, highlighting the 4 supplemental readings. Beautiful. The Kol Mafsikin, Barash Chadash, and Mechanaka B'Purim, Betanios, B'Ma'amados, B'Yom Kippurim. So this is an interesting idea. Now, once the Mishnah discussed the Daled Parshos, which are supplemental readings, the Mishnah here adds in something additional, which is that when certain events occur, we disrupt the normal order of the Parshos HaShavua, the normal weekly portion cycle. So, for example, if Rosh Chodesh falls out, right? Rosh Chodesh falls out on Shabbos. Now, interestingly enough, on Rosh Chodesh, halacha l'maisa, we would not go ahead and abstain from reading the regular parsha. We just read something in addition. Same thing with Chanukah. Same thing with Purim. Now, remember again, Purim falls out on a Shabbos. We don't celebrate Purim on Shabbos. We would go ahead, in that case, actually, interestingly enough, read a different Haftorah. So Chanukah, we read regular Parsha, supplemental reading. Purim, regular Parsha, different Haftorah. Tanios, Ma'amados. Now this is interesting. In cases, ultimately, again, where you could have Tanios and Ma'amados, fast days, and see, interestingly enough, we know that halacha l'maisa, public fast days, you don't have on Shabbos, right? And when there were the ma'amados, that are held on Shabbos, right? There's no specific Torah reading that happens. So again, but they're added on Taniyos, Ba'amaz, Yom Kippurim. Now Yom Kippur is interesting. In the case of Yom Kippur, halacha l'maisa, if Yom Kippur falls down on Shabbos, the Yom Kippur Kriya does in fact replace the regular Shabbos Kriya. So again, we're just pointing out over here that whereas the Dalet Parshas are supplemental readings, when different occasions fall out on Shabbos, sometimes we'll replace the entire Torah reading, sometimes we'll add on a supplemental Torah reading, sometimes we'll only change the half Torah reading. Good, beautiful. Parak Mishna. The Pesach Karma Parshas Moedos. So we'll say now, the Mishnah is just talking about the different parshas that we read at different times. So the Pesach Karma Parshas Moedos, on Pesach we read the section of the Moados of Yomim Tovim, Shel Toras Kohanim, that ultimately again occur in Vayikra. Good. The Torah Batzeres on Shavuos, Shiva Shavuos. On Shavuos we go ahead and we read the section of Shiva Shavuos, which is a section of the Torah in Bamidbar that deals with Yom Tov of Shavuos. And Rosh Hashanah, B'chodesh Hashvi'i Be'echad L'chodesh. On Rosh Hashanah we read the section of Chodesh Hashvi'i Be'echad B'Shabbos, section of the Torah that deals with Rosh Hashanah. So all the Mishnah is saying over here is that halacha l'maisa, on each Yom Tiv we read this section of the Torah that corresponds, that speaks about that particular Yom Tiv. Yom Kippur, Acharei Mos, on Yom Kippur we read Parshas Acharei Mos, which details the avodah of Yom Kippur. The Yom Tov Rishon Shachad Korban with Parshas Moedos Shevatoras Kohanim. On the first day of Sukkot, we read the section of the Moedos, the section of Yom Tovim that occurs in Vayikra. Ubishar Kol Yemos Hachag B'Karbanos Hachag. And the rest of the days of Yom Tiv, we read again the sections that correspond to the Karbanos which were offered up on each of those days in Chumash Bamidbar. Right, so we'll stop over here for today. Wishing everyone on today. Tomorrow we will continue Meretz Hashem with Mishnah Vav, which is going to be the last Mishnah in the 3rd chapter and the beginning of the 4th chapter of Megillah. Wishing everyone a wonderful day and a lichtige Chanukah.